¿Qué pasa, amigo? All right, let's try this again. ¿Qué pasa, amigos? That was a pretty unfortunate mishap with the slow-mo. It was going to be a little earlier today than I started yesterday. If my phone or if my watch would wake up, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to try to be done by 11-ish so I can hit the rack and get a little more sleep tonight. Good news and bad news. I don't know if it's all good or bad or whatnot, but so I visited my local hobby shop today, which I don't really go to so often just because it's like 25 miles away, and I'm always busy with work, so it's a lot more convenient just to mail order. And I normally mail order a lot of my stuff through JJ Customs, which is awesome. But I went to Hobbytown because I grew up going to Hobbytown. There used to be another place called Hobby Hut locally for us. Those are the two places that I kind of grew up going to. So I went there and I recognized the same store guy who's been there ever since I can remember. But they didn't have all the parts that I wanted. They had enough for me to do one car. And that one car is going to be the Rustler. I think I'm going to make a name for it. So this is Project Undertaker, or I think that's what it is. But anyways, I think we're going to call this the Rust Slayer. And it's going to be pink and black themed for my little girl. And if she's into it, she can keep on going and slaying. And if not, we'll play with it a lot too. So got parts for that. Found out also someone wanted to buy my Arma Granite 4x4. Awesome truck. I love that truck so much. Super bulletproof. I actually haven't broken any parts on it yet. Did some upgrades. Take that back. The stock server went out. Replaced that, and then put in brushless and upgraded the HD input gear. That thing's awesome. So I'm selling that to a friend of ours, and I ended up, while I was there, I got a little LiPo charger so that they can have a little battery charger too, and I can include a battery with it. But here's the thing. I'm kind of surprised. I spent a little more than I wanted to. It adds up. So they didn't have a kit that was just for the spur that I needed. So I had to kind of piece it together with them, and it added up really quick. And it's kind of one of those conundrums that you have. It's do you resurrect one or do you go out and buy a new one? Because I for sure could have bought a new one today and had a brand new truck with everything included and walked away with it that way. But I'll show you the stuff that we got. I ended up getting a sweet J Concepts body, some Duratrax wheels. The rest of the stuff was all stock Traxxas stuff, but it's going to look pretty sweet. So I don't know. So what I have to do is I'm going to take the stock bearing carriers and C-hubs off my slash and put the RPMs on there. Just because the slashes are going to take a lot more abuse than this car will. So I'm going to do that, and then those hub carriers and all that, bearing carriers, all that will go on the Rustler. I bought a new bearing kit for it also. So I'm going to go through and do that. And I don't know, I guess I'll take video of that. It's probably not going to be that exciting. Maybe I'll do a fast forward through it as we edit the video. But like I said, I'm going to try to get it all up tomorrow. I'm going to do just rough edits, just kind of go with it and see how it goes. So after I devour my sandwich, I'm going to get back to it. All right, so here's the loot. Honestly, I don't know how it added up to be so much. There's all the part numbers if you guys are interested. So these are the the clip retainers. Really like these. On my crawlers, some of them are magnets and some of them have magnets under the bodies for the clips if they use them. But for the fast cars, I hate taking the clips off and losing them. So those are a must. I got a new motor, 12 turn. That should make this thing go pretty quick. Bearings, This is the rebuild kit for the slipper clutch. 2 axles, heavy duty, 2 front axles. This is another part of the slipper clutch. I needed the screws to match. These Duratracks, they look pretty good, low profile. They're gonna look really sick with the body when I'm done. I really wanted to go with Proline and to get another set of wheels, but this is the most economical way of doing it, and I'm already over budget with this, so there's that. I got a couple more of these retainers for the other cars, just so we don't have to keep on losing them. I bought this because I'm selling the Arma, and I'm gonna send that with the Arma. Let me know what you think. I'm planning on selling the Arma with like I think it's a J Relics or something like that, 40,000 kV brushless and a 2S lipo, an upgraded servo. I'm selling it for 200 bucks. I think that's fair. It's been used pretty hard. It's not coming with a nice clean body, but it's coming with a stock body, so I think it's a good price. So that's for these. You might see these. These are actually off of one of the T-Max that I got in that deal, or not in the deal, but when he gave them for me for free. The Arma's shocks are the things that are the one downfall to them. So I'm gonna see if I can swap them out for this, and I might do. The length on the back should be fine. The length on the front, however, might be a little long, so what I'm going to do is when I rebuild them, I'm going to put them down and put a piece of fuel line inside so it doesn't have such a long travel. So we're going to do that. Here are the RPM pieces that are going on the Slash, and let me grab that body real quick. So the only body they had in stock was this Ford Raptor body by J Concepts. Awesome company. I'm not a big fan on the Fords, but I think this thing will look pretty sweet. Didn't realize it comes with a wing, so we'll throw the wing on there. I got to think of a cool paint scheme for it. Definitely going with the black and pink, and probably leave the windows clear so you can see out. Maybe we can mount the GoPro on this one too. Definitely going to leave the sunroof clear. I kind of like that look. I know it gets scuffed up, but maybe we'll put some, maybe I'll 3D print a roof rack as a slider on the top. That'd be kind of neat. Gotta draw that up, but I think these will look pretty sweet. So we're gonna get that all done up. Probably won't do that till Saturday. Tomorrow's Friday. But first I'm gonna do all the work to the Slash and to the chassis, and we'll get after it. So the only body they had in stock was this Ford Raptor body by J Concepts. Awesome company. I'm not a big fan on the Fords, but I think this thing will look pretty sweet. Didn't realize it comes with a wing, so we'll throw the wing on there. I got to think of a cool paint scheme for it. Definitely going with the black and pink, and probably leave the windows clear so you can see out. Maybe we can mount the GoPro on this one too. Definitely going to leave the sunroof clear. I kind of like that look. I know it gets scuffed up, but maybe we'll put some, maybe I'll 3D print a roof rack as a slider on the top. That'd be kind of neat. Gotta draw that up, but I think these will look pretty sweet. So we're gonna get that all done up. Probably won't do that till Saturday. Tomorrow's Friday. But first I'm gonna do all the work to the Slash and to the chassis, and we'll get after it. All right, so what I decided to do here, I'm just gonna do on video one front and one back. So these are the bearing carriers for the rear end for the Slash. They didn't have black in stock, so I just got blue. You won't really see them anyway. And then these are the bearing carriers for the front for the Slash, the RPMs. So here's my little secret. I bought a new bearing kit, and I'm just gonna take these off and leave the bearings in them and then put the new ones on and put new bearings in the new ones. This truck's pretty new anyway, so I think we'll be okay. One thing I was kind of concerned about that I noticed was the caster block seems a little different than the Slash does for the Wrestler. And that Wrestler, hopefully it won't take too much work to make that happen. Oh yeah, do I have to pry that out? Yeah, I do. So I've got to pry these hexes out. These hexes are some of the tightest fitting hexes I've come across in RC car stuff. And they're always in there. So let's see if I can, there we go. A little pop. Now make sure to not lose the little pin here. I've got a tray over here that I'm going to stick it in off camera. You don't want to lose that. So it looks like we're only going to have to take off 2 screws, top and bottom, and then this carrier comes out. So what I'm going to do first actually is I am going to open these. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. So I'm going to open these up and find the right carrier bearing. I don't know, I was thinking about doing a kind of like a vintage feel for the car. I really wanted to watch Days of Thunder again. It's probably like my favorite movie. One of the favorite movies anyway. I've been getting into a lot of old school 80s monster truck videos on YouTube. With everything going on in the world, it's kind of funny because I look at that and remember being a kid and just being like, I don't want to say what happened to the world because it wasn't perfect back then, but sure seems different now. So, but who knows? But it's very nostalgic. Makes me actually want to build, not Kevin Talbot style, but I kind of want to build my own retro monster truck. I don't know what my wife would say about that, but I think it would be rad. Nothing fast, but definitely something rowdy. That would definitely be something fun to do. Actually, I'm going to take off both wheels. Here's my ridiculous receipt. Boom. Oh, good thing you didn't see how much it was. Oh, that was ridiculous. Anyways, I'm going to take off both wheels so I can get my electric driver in there to take it off easier. I probably should have put these new bearings in my son's truck because his truck's a little older than mine, but not by much. It's an older technically an older chassis, but it wasn't driven much before we got our hands on it. So, all right, these tires go here. I definitely want to get a set. That's one thing that I'm kind of putting my sights on. I want to get a set of Proline tires. I forgot the brand, the model, but we've been doing a lot of carpet racing. I shouldn't say racing. We've been going to the track and playing on the carpet track, and the kids really dig it. So I've been wanting to get a set. Really? Traxxas. 2 separate drivers for one function. Man. I almost want to change it out just to keep it consistent. Anyhow, we've been doing a fair amount of driving at Die Hard RC, which is awesome. It's our local track. They offer a lot of racing, which we haven't really got into yet. I just don't think my kids were old enough to yet. And then all this stuff happened, and I think, excuse me, I think it's time now to get them into it. You know what I just realized? These shims I don't have another set for the other car. Maybe I can go and poach some. We'll see. Anyways, I don't think they were old enough to yet. Not sure if my daughter's going to be into it. Maybe. I'd like for her to get into it a little bit, just to kind of build that competitive spirit. But I definitely think that my son's going to be into it. And, you know, I might give it a whirl. It's a kind of a big time commitment. I think we don't really do anything halfway. I like to teach the kids to kind of be all in if they're going to commit to something. So we that being said, if we do it, we're going to do it right. And I don't want to say try to win or do it to win, but we're definitely going to do it so that we are getting the most out of it, meaning learning as much as we can. If anything, I want the kids to take part in it just so they can kind of build a little bit of a competitive edge. I think it's good for kids. I'm a big team sports guy. Wrong size again. Big team sports guy, so I think that would be very cool. Come on. Go to your home. There we go. Boom. Okay. Wheel one done. So I can probably put the pin back in it now. And then the hex back on it. Might have to seat that in differently. All right, let's move on to the front. Okay, so one down, one to go. This one's a little bit more complicated. Move the iPad again because it's kind of getting in our way. Two new videos just popped up from the two accounts that I'm kind of into right now on YouTube. Mark Santamaria, I'm liking his stuff, and CCRC. That's pretty hot right now with his Primal RC truck. I was just watching RC Sparks today while I was at work with his Primal. That thing's a beast with the 80cc. Looks super exciting. Probably get into nitro this summer a little bit. I used to be into that, but I don't know, it's a little loud for our neighborhood. And I like to be able to go out and bash my backyard. So it's kind of one of those things. Let's see if I can balance this and get it off. Ooh, that's in there. Would help if I went the right way. I don't think that was necessary. Nope. Not to change. Not to change the hub bearing carrier. Not necessary. Yep, I remember now. I remember now. So we're going to set this up on its side. Oh, I guess you guys can't see that. Bam. So I set it up on its side to take this pin out. There's the caster block, or I'm sorry, the bearing carrier. So now, where's the new ones? Here's the new ones. Open this up. Throw that in there. Why don't you leave a note in the comments? What do you guys think is a good age to get kids into racing? I'm all for it. I think kids got to learn stuff like that, so I'm all for it now. My kids are just turning 6 and 8, and I think that's a great age to get their start. Each kid's going to be different, though. Some kids will automatically have that kind of competitive edge. Ooh, is this one going to pop out? And some kids won't. That's just the way kids are. There we go. One axle. There's that bushing again. Oh, I'm worried that that's gonna blow up the bearing if I don't put that bushing on. What do you guys think? Let me know. See, I'm not the all-knowing RC dude by any means. I know how to build stuff. Whoa. I know how to build stuff and draw stuff. RC stuff, I just kind of wing it. Try to make it look good. The cars, not me winging it. So, I'm sure my wife heard that. She'd roll her eyes and laugh at me. Or laugh with me, I should say. Let's get this back up in here. Where's the screw? Where's the nut? There it is. It's an unusually warm night tonight. It was warm, well, not unusually. It's late in the season. But it's very warm and muggy tonight. So, we'll see how the night of sleep goes. Oh, let's throw that axle back in first. Pro tip, right? Assemble things before you have to take them apart and reassemble them. There's the bushing. Okay, let's put this pin back in. So we don't lose it. Come on. That's gonna go underneath my nail. That's the other difference I noticed between this and the Rustler. This has a screw where the Rustler has a rod and cotter pin. So we'll have to pray that I do not lose. Oh, of course. Oh, there we go. That I do not lose the cotter pin and process. Luckily, I have a couple chassis that could be donors. Let's see. Whoa. Take it easy. Boom. that one's on. Okay, let's see if we can rock this one. This one was having some difficulties as well. Boom. Cool. Okay, front tire goes back on. Front tire goes back on like, I think it's already on. Okay. So let's throw all right, so now is when I'm gonna say, you guys don't want to see me do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to cut it in interest of making this video a little shorter. I'm actually wondering, I don't know, we actually had another video that I made with my son. That's the whole reason why we've got a double set of these RPM bearing carriers, is because he broke one of his stock ones and we had to get a set to fix it. And so when we get a set and we have a fleet of the same vehicle, we normally buy double or try to get, especially for small parts like that, or try to get, you know, I guess now triplicate of the same part. We've got 3 Gen 8 chassis and now 3 Traxxas style chassis, which is cool. And the Wendigo is actually based off the Gen 8 chassis, so makes it really nice to have kind of the same parts for every vehicle. But we started making a video on him doing that. Maybe I'll still post that, and then this one will be posted as well. All right, let's should I do one of those fancy cuts where it's like, where we go, let's cut to the next one. Ooh. All right, well, I spared you the headache and did one side already. And now that I figured out how to do that side, I will move on to the next side. And that way I don't have to learn while on video. I wouldn't say it's embarrassing, but no one wants to see me make a bunch of mistakes. I don't see why they would. These are not easy to get out. So, a couple things I learned. Take off this top arm here. That helped out a lot. And then I believe I took off, let's see if this backs out any further. There we go. So now the caster block comes clear. Now the last one I took apart. This isn't a screw on these now. Now what it is, or what it used to be, is a rod with a cotter pin on it. Or I'm sorry, not a cotter pin. What are these called? Ring pin? I don't remember what these C-clips are. Anyhow, that was completely bent. I don't even know where I did. Oh, yeah, couldn't take it off. You can kind of see it. See if I can stuff it back in there so you can see it. But let's see. You can kind of see how bent that is. It wasn't cooperating. Oh, there you go. There's a good angle. So, might have been a good thing that I didn't get that Stampede stuff today. And you know what? In hindsight, I know it's going to sound weird, but I don't know that I needed the Stampede. It might have been fun as a monster truck, but it doesn't really fit in our type of cars that we play with. We don't have another one like it, so it was a little strange. It would have been a little bit different, but you know, maybe if the time's right, maybe I'll get bored and redo one. Okay, so I'm sure there is a tool to take these tiny ones off, but you know what? I don't have that. So I have a pick, and this seems to work all right. It's not the best, and you're destined to get poked pretty good, but you kind of have to work around it a little bit and get it to move to free up some of that dirt. Now, I did wash this chassis. You probably can't tell too much because it's actually kind of stained with dirt. It's been sitting for so long. Okay, there it goes. So I just got that clip to move. So I'll bring that down. And now this should move out a little bit. And I'm going to try to help it a little bit with these. There we go. So now if this one's not bent too bad, I had to actually, the other one, even on the Stampede, I had to persuade out a little bit. Oh, that's bending the clip. I don't really want to do that. Let's see if maybe I can pull the clip off. There we go. Okay, so now the clip's off. That clip looks pretty worn out. I might be able to pull one off the other Stampede. Whoa, there you go. So I don't think that's supposed to be that wobbly. And what I'm gonna do is what I did on the last one is I kind of straightened it myself. Eventually what I'm gonna do, probably, because I'm sure the pin will probably fall off or the clip will probably fall off at some point. There we go. So eventually what I'll do is I'll put the screw in there that screws all the way in there, and it'll be a little bit better of a fit, all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm gonna clean this off just a little bit more since it was so dirty. I couldn't really get to these parts when I washed it in the sink earlier. So I believe it goes like this, and this goes in here. Now, I think I'm gonna put this clip on first. I'm gonna try to straighten this clip out first too. Full disclosure, one of the clips that I took off earlier disappeared. I don't know where it went, but I heard it bounce around the toolbox. So maybe it's up there. I really wish I had a longer screw for this, but I don't. Okay. And these little clips, this is when you use words that you don't typically use, like little bugger. Never really used that word before. Don't ever really intend on using that word. But these, my friends, are a little bugger. Let's see. just get it to stay there. A trick I should probably use is put a little dab of grease on it. The grease would hold it in place long enough so I can get the pliers over it. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a little dab of grease. Uh-oh, come back. All right, so now, theoretically, this grease should hold it in place when I get it there. You know, it's probably actually a lot easier. See, there we go. Now it's kind of hanging out there. It's probably a lot easier. There we go. If I did this on the car. Okay, so here's another thing that I learned. This clip has to actually index towards the flat part of the caster block. Like this. Doing that will let it slide all the way down and lock that pin in place. So now I should be able to lock this bottom one in. Boom. There we go. That was 10 times easier than the first time. All right. So, one thing I noticed about my videos that I just don't like, I hate hearing myself breathe on the videos. I don't know why, but for some reason I just feel like I'm breathing right into the microphone. Whew. All right. This is going to be another epic long video. We are probably going to be north of 20 minutes. Easily north of 20 minutes. Probably going to be north of 30 minutes on this one. I'm surprised with myself and how I get sucked into watching some long YouTube stuff. So generally I tell myself I'm only going to watch, you know, the 10-minute ones or under. But lately I've been finding myself watching YouTube videos, the live streams for like all 2-3 hours that they're running. Which to me is a little ridiculous. I shouldn't be watching YouTube that long. I need to be actually building and doing my own thing. Being that I don't have much time, I should be doing that instead. But it's always entertaining watching those YouTubes. Thinking I'm going to try to get inspired by these race cars to do a paint job. I think I'm going to look at, if I remember right, the Superflow was pink, black, and white, I think. So I'm I'm gonna look at that car for inspiration for this one. All right, there we go. Oh goodness, I forgot to put the axle in. That's all right. Should still be able to slide it in. Bam, there we go. Boy, it really would be nice to be able to get this thing to be a roller tonight. I just don't see it in the cards though. Let's see. Okay, on to the back. Ooh. I hate. Hate's a strong word. We say that in our family. I hate Phillips head screws on stuff like this. Oh, strongly dislike them. All right. So this should be straightforward. This should be identical to the slash. However, I think I'm going to try to replace one of these axles while I'm in here. So let's cut one open and see what I can do. I'm a little scared of trying to back out that set screw. I have a feeling it is going to be in there. All right, so let's see. So what I'm going to do is I have my clutch set all the way to 1 on this. I'm not sure if people know how to use a clutch. Basically what that means is if it will sit there and jostle and it won't over tighten, or rip things apart. It's a little more gentle. Yeah, buddy, that one came out nice and easy. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Is there 2? Or is it just the 1? Bam, just the 1. Nice. All right. So let's throw this bad boy on there. Look at that. It all fits. Now, what I do instead of running it in, I like to start it by hand first. Where did you go? Because by starting it by hand, you're not going to cross-thread things too terribly bad. This here, there we go. Now it's time to send it home. So again, I have my clutch set at 1. And you got to be careful not to over tighten on these plastic parts. You don't want to strip it out right off the bat. So let's see, now I've got to put on the bearing carrier, which is right here. And then off the bearing carrier, we're going to throw in, what do you think? Should I set it down low CG, get it a little lower? Let's leave it high for now. This seems like a pretty low tub. Back to the terrible Phillips. I feel like there's got to be a screw kit for the Rustler. I'm hoping there's a screw kit for the Rustler. Probably should have bought that first. Save the headache. Oh, let's put the axle in first before I screw it together. Bam. Who used to watch Trailer Park Boys? Bam! Like peanut butter and jam. Who knows who that is? I used to watch old school Trailer Park Boys. Probably should have paid attention to this to see which side had already been started, since I took it off the old slash rather than boring a new hole. But hey, why would I have done that? Okay. Oh, I hate Phillips heads. Boom. There we go. Woo-wee. All right, so I'm going to take it off video now because you guys don't need to see me do the other stuff either. So you already saw one, so I'm going to get one more on. We'll see how I feel if I want to rebuild some shocks tonight. Just throw them together real quick. Maybe I won't rebuild them. Maybe I'll just clean them out first and put them on there just to see if I can get a rolling chassis going. That would be awesome. All right, we're almost there. Be right back. All right, so as you can see, I got a little further than but I didn't think you guys needed to see all that video. I'm really tired. It's about 1 o'clock, but I want to install the spur or the slipper clutch. Haven't ever done one before, so let's give it a whirl. Here's the directions. It comes in the kit. Never built one like this before, I should say. So step one, it says to put 5556 part number on the assembly with the little fan slot kind of deal facing inward. Ooh, look at that, fits nicely. And then you put 5552X, which looks like this piece, over it. It looks like it keys in somewhere. Yep, there it goes. Keys in. Then you put these little slipper or the pads on it. So let's pull these pads out real quick. So these pads go on this piece, which is the other part of 5556, and they sit right on the little pegs there. So these are the abrasives that grab, looks like to me. So that part slides on. And then it says you put the bearing in the spur. We're using a 86 tooth. This is just the extra one that came with my slash. So it's not ideal. I'd actually like to use, well, actually, we're using 86 tooth, a 23 tooth pinion. My track is very short, and the course that we go and race at Die Hard's pretty short too, so I'm probably going to end up changing the pinion to a taller pinion, like a 19, or I'm sorry, a shorter pinion, like a 19, just to get a little bit more torque out of it, quickness. That way we can zip around the track a little bit more efficiently. Let's see here. All right, so these are 2.5 head screws. Let me just double check. Yep, that looks right. Okay, so I'm gonna get it started here. Actually, it makes more sense to do this part off the truck. So I'll just lightly tighten it. Makes more sense to do it off the truck just because I don't know how it would locate on that truck, because it kind of hovers on that shaft. So after I'm done with the slipper assembly, I've got to mount the motor and then the electronics. And we should be good to go after that. So I'm just tightening these by hand at first. There goes one of the shoes. Where'd it go? There it is. My workbench is in severe need of a cleaning or straightening up. Okay, so everything's locked in there. Bearings on. Feels good. So now, this is a two-wheel drive vehicle, not the four-wheel drive. So the two-wheel drive just needs the silver spring and nut. Now it came with 2 springs. And I'm assuming, well, it says silver spring is the one to use and the black spring is the one for the four-wheel drive. They are very similar, but one does have a silver tint, I would say, which would be this one. So I'm going to throw that up there. And then here's the nut. I believe that's a 7mm wrench. Yep. Now it doesn't really say on tension wise, but I'm assuming you have to get it tight enough that it hits the all thread, or it hits the thread lock. I don't want to get it too tight there. That seems extremely too tight. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I feel like that shaft isn't long enough for this setup. Well, where'd that other spring go? Maybe that other spring is a little shorter. No, it's thicker. Let's see, I think the Stampede had a spring. This spring here doesn't look, for the Stampede, doesn't look any thinner. Let's see. So this is the one that came off the old Stampede, and it's a little shorter. Let's give it a whirl. Basically what I need to do is I need to get it so that the nut sits on there a little bit better without it being fully compressed. That still seems super hard to rotate. Like lots of binding. I guess it's got to be pretty tight, right? Because the tighter just seems so stiff. Seems too stiff. Like, this just spins on it. I feel like we're missing a part. I feel like that shaft should have some kind of keyway on it. Maybe this piece has to seat differently. Yeah, there's nothing on here that would lock this into place. Unless there's a keyway inside the gearbox housing that the pin goes through this slot. It did come with a pin. Where does that pin go? It's still not right in French. All right, well, I'll have to look at it tomorrow, because I'm too tired to troubleshoot this now. Maybe I'll watch a video as I lay in bed for 5 minutes. All right, guys, have a good night. That's episode 2. That's a wrap. And episode 3 will be electronics, and then and paint probably. And then 4 will be running it, hopefully. Looks pretty good, I think. Rebuilt those shocks. Seem all right. So, be interesting to see how this tire holds up, or how it works. I think it'll work great on our track. Don't know how it'll do on the carpet, but it seems nice and wide, and I put these at a lower position so that the center of gravity is a little lower. Once we get batteries in there, or get our lipo in there, it should, I don't think I'll bring it down a lot, but it should bring it down a little bit. All right, till next time.